whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It's channel GBoot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Zelle, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row on Thursday nights. It was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn the attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format.
That was the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr.'s trailer that we've been running for a year, ladies and gentlemen. The Destruction of Due Process in the United States. That is available now on Amazon Kindle, ladies and gentlemen. Please pick that up. Also, if you would like, support our channel by donating to the links at the bottom from CashApp to Google Pay, PayPal, and Zelle, ladies and gentlemen. Please donate, support our channel. Also, you can buy our songs such as Video Soul and Gotta Get On Up, which is available on iTunes. You are tuning into the hottest live stream on YouTube for now. This is Gavin Richard Presents Random Topic Sundays, ladies and gentlemen. And tonight on our broadcast, we discuss the following. The son of a former slave dies in hospice care at age 90. Kanye West continues to put his foot in his mouth. No criminal charges for woman who shot off-duty fireman in a fight with her boyfriend in Missouri. And also, we will be discussing a woman who dies in a restaurant bathroom. Restaurant continued to remain open. All of this and more tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on Random Topic Sundays. We're going to go ahead and get started with some music.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat. 'Cause on the dance floor is where we live. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide on two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the floor, baby. Yeah, gotta get on. Come on, baby, gotta get on. Baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on.
Feel the groove, get on the floor, gotta get on up. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents here on Random Topic Sundays. I need you all to smash up the likes, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We want 50,000 people here, of course. We know that we can't do that because YouTube has a shadow banned, but we still can get thousands of people in here if we want, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be addressing that elephant in the room a little bit later on today. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with our topics now. So let's talk about one of the main things I want to discuss is no criminal charges for a woman who shot an off-duty fireman who was in a fight with her boyfriend. Now, this happened last week out in Missouri, specifically the town of Independence, Missouri. The prosecutor's office announced on Tuesday that it will not be seeking charges against one woman by the name who they did not release her name, which surprised me, but they did release her boyfriend's name, Javon Taylor. Now, what happened? Apparently, there was some type of altercation that took place inside the Liquorland convenience store where one Javon Taylor allegedly had been speaking negatively to a female cashier. That's when off-duty fireman Anthony Santini was at the convenience store and witnessed this and confronted the man over his choice words. And Taylor apparently was so agitated, went outside to retrieve a gun from his car. Police say there was a fight between the two men inside the store over the weapon. Now,
Anthony Santini was an off-duty firefighter when he was here inside of liquor.
Well, that's the video. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and play this. Copyright, ladies and gentlemen, fair use. This is for fair use. It's obviously being used for news purposes only. We're going to play that from our sister station, KMBC. Well, it's not my sister station, but KMBC, which is the ABC affiliate out there in Independence, Missouri.
Land at 40 Highway in Sterling and Independence. That was about 2 Thursdays ago. Witnesses tell us that a man inside of the Liquorland was insulting a woman there, and Santee stood up for her, and then a fist fight started. Let it go! Let it go! Stop! Cell phone video captured some of that fight between 41-year-old Anthony Santee and 23-year-old Javon Taylor. Witnesses tell KMBC the fight may have lasted as long as 10 minutes. Get out! My kid's in this car! Stop! Javon Taylor's girlfriend pulled out a gun and ultimately killed Anthony Santee. Now, this afternoon, Jackson County Prosecutor's Office made an announcement. I'm going to read directly from it. We grieve with the family and community over this tragic loss of life of Mr. Santee. Missouri law governs this case, specifically self-defense and defense of others, leading us to decline charges after a careful review. Anthony Santee, as I mentioned, was a firefighter. He lived in the Northland. He had a daughter, and he was buried last week. Live in Independence, Rebecca Gannon, KMBC 9 News.
The woman who fired the gun was held for 24 hours, then released. Javon Taylor faces federal felony charges for possession of a firearm. He is currently in federal custody.
Yeah, because he's a felon, he was charged with firearm possession, felony firearm, which is against federal law. Once you get that strike on you, you cannot possess.
The video captures the end of a long altercation outside the Liquorland gas station in Independence. Off-duty firefighter Anthony Santee is on top of 23-year-old Javon Taylor. A woman with a gun demands Santee let Taylor go. Later in the video, she fires a round.
The argument, the fighting was like around 10 minutes, so it just escalated from there. So that's how you can tell it was a bit tragic the way it escalated.
Friends say Santee loved his daughter, his family, and the outdoors. They say he was known to stand up for what he thought is right.
He was protecting and being the person that he is. Dying, of course, he died a hero because he loved helping people.
Loved ones are in disbelief about what happened. A witness tells KMBC that Santee heard a man disrespect a woman cashier and he stood up for her. Then the argument began. Police say Taylor grabbed a gun. The woman outside fires the fatal round.
It's a horrible thing to happen at such a young age. It's mind-blowing right now. I'm still in shock.
Friends say Santee chose to be a firefighter to help others.
He did it to help people. You know, there was a lot of things, you know, he could have done.
They hope his daughter knows how much he cared.
And if she can hear this, I just want her to know how much he loved her. He really, really loved her, and all he ever wanted to do was protect.
Charges have just been announced in connection to the shooting death of an off-duty firefighter. Prosecutors say Javon Taylor had a gun that was used to kill Anthony Santee on Thursday. He's charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm. KMBC 9's Brian Johnson is joining us live.
Let's get, because I don't want to keep going over the same thing, but the problem is this. First off, whether or not he's off duty or not, he's not a cop. And I guess there is a free speech thing where he's trying to defend the woman's honor and so forth. And obviously, Mr. Taylor if he did bring in, and I'm just going off the facts from what is reported. He brought in this video. He brought in this gun over some words and being upset. And I don't know what he said, but it wasn't that serious to bring a firearm inside the vehicle, inside the convenience store. And yes, at some point they fought over the gun. Santini had obviously a right to do that. But here's where the law steps in, is that and why that woman was not charged. Now, some legal experts actually weighed in on this. I believe this is the video here, why he was not charged. Because there's something called, there's obviously a process with this stuff, guys, where you can't just, there's a process where this stuff goes where the facts and circumstances can always change. And once they were outside the convenience store and you saw the video, the gun is obviously not in his hands, it's in this female's hands. She did not witness what the altercation was or how it started and who started what. And I believe this is the video here.
Cell phone video shows the end of what one witness says was a 10-minute confrontation.
And under Missouri law, and I think even in most states, we have self-defense laws. There's also, I know in Louisiana, we do have defense of others, where you can use force and even sometimes deadly force if the force is reasonable enough to repel a threat where a person's life, if it were that person and they used it in defense of others, it was done to prevent serious bodily injury or imminent death. So it looks like she thinks he's killing him. Obviously, they say this happened for about 10 minutes. She's asking him to get off.
A witness says 23-year-old Javon Taylor insulted a female cashier. Then 41-year-old off-duty firefighter Anthony Santee stood up for her. Police say Taylor retrieved a gun from his car. The fight ends outside. Santee is on top of Taylor. A woman who came with Taylor fires one shot and runs.
The decision is a very hard one because obviously it's a tragic situation no matter what happens.
Pat McInerney is a former state and federal prosecutor.
Missouri has actually had a statute providing for a self-defense claim in defense of other people since 1979.
Steve Lieben is a UMKC law professor.
The question was, did she reasonably believe that he was subject to imminent risk of death or serious physical injury?
By not issuing charges, the prosecutor believes a jury would think the actions in defense of someone
believe that he was subject to imminent risk of death or serious physical injury.
By not issuing charges, the prosecutor believes a jury would think the actions in defense of someone else were reasonable.
So the investigation really focuses on what that person believed and whether that was a reasonable belief at the time.
Brian Johnson, KMBC 9 News.
Taylor faces federal felony charges for possession of a firearm. In a statement, the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office says, "We grieve with the family and community over this tragic loss of life of Mr. Santee." An accused kidnapper in Clay County won't be back in court until next month. Timothy Hazlitt is facing rape and murder charges after a woman says she escaped his house where she was beaten for weeks. Hazlitt has pleaded not guilty and now wants...
You can sit there and...
Okay. So you heard the legal experts, why they say she wouldn't be charged. And here's the thing too, like they always tell us, well, you should comply. What were you doing? You know, I think the guy who started it, if they say it's the brother that started it, and I believe that based off the evidence it is, he probably is a scumbag. But here's the thing. It's a sad and tragic situation that happened, obviously, when someone loses their life. And yes, if he had a gun and he was threatening to use it on me, I would have wrestled it away from him too, like I think anybody else would, being reasonable. But at some point, obviously, and the girl is screaming, "Get off of him," and she has the gun. She has the gun in her hand. You don't have a firearm. Somebody should have called the police and gotten it involved and handled it that way. That was there. and I see somebody was recording it. Obviously, the person recording it, he could have called the police and intervened. Not obviously intervene to avoid a dangerous situation, but he's recording this fight, and he's recording this fight where this woman has this gun in her hand. I would have been crawled inside that convenience store, hiding in the bathroom with my phone, because at that point, I can't defend that if somebody's got a gun. And he's obviously unarmed doing this because he believes that the woman, they said he was defending the woman's honor, which is fine. But then when you start getting physical and a gun is involved, that's a whole nother get down. He obviously did not deserve what happened to him, but it is a sad situation. And that's why they didn't charge the young lady, because she actually believed that she was defending her boyfriend. And at some point, that's the question I had, nerds. Yeah, you stand so close to somebody recording. You stand so close to record where there's a gun involved. And she's screaming, "Get off him, get off him." He should have gotten off. I mean, he could have gotten off, but here's the thing. He might have been thinking, once I get him off, she was going to shoot me. And she tried to get a clear shot. But I mean, obviously she did. She shot him in the back. And the prosecutor out there in Independence, the police department obviously has an issue with her, because they say a lot of those cases that they have sent to get back, that's the Jackson County prosecutor, they have filed some cases and she's kicked them down. She says, nope. Jean Peters Baker. So a lot of people don't like her. Apparently, a lot of the police officers have issues with her because of that. If she's pissing off the police department, she's probably doing a good job. No, if he had let go, at some point, there's escalation and de-escalating. And when you think of facts and circumstances, as I'm saying, especially with criminal law, as a criminal defense attorney, as someone who's taught as a law professor myself, there's a point where, you have to break away. The law requires, especially for instance, like with manslaughter, the reason why you can get charged with manslaughter in a fight is because it's reasonable, especially if someone, let's say for instance, escalates a fight, starts a fight, you get in a fist fight with that person, and during the heat of the moment, you killed that person. Well, they'll charge you with manslaughter because they realize there's a period where there's no cooling of the blood. Whereas if it's 15 minutes later, and by the way, I have to do this disclaimer, I'm not your attorney. This doesn't constitute legal advice. I'm just an attorney. When there is if there's a breakaway period, for instance, let's say the fight happened 30 minutes ago, you go and retrieve your gun, you go to that person's address, that dude's address, and you shoot up his house and you end up killing him, well, then you get charged with murder because there was a period of time where you could have stopped and had a chance to think about what you were doing before you acted. But no manslaughter charges, no murder charges are here because she reasonably believed that his life was in danger. And when you look at it, he was choking him out at some point. So somebody could have intervened. I wish someone with the right mind would have intervened and broken the two up and either waited for the cops to get there. People don't like getting the cops involved with stuff. But the dude shouldn't have had a gun. And yeah, he's actually going to get, they can't charge him with murder, but believe me, they're going to try and give him as much time as possible since he's a felon with a firearm. Well, here's the thing, Cheryl. If she got charged, if we actually had a law against stupidity, I think 3/4 of the United States would be in jail right now on stupid charges. Y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. But most importantly, hit that Cash App for me. GavinRichardEsq. All right, I want to move on to our next topic, ladies and gentlemen. Kanye West continues to put his foot in his mouth. Now, Kanye was on. See, here's my thing. He apologized. Kanye was on Piers Morgan. Now, Piers Morgan has always said suspected white supremacist shit. But Kanye was on Piers Morgan's TV show a couple of days ago, and he formally apologized for some comments and for some comments he made on anti-Semitism, what they call an anti-Semitic post. So I want to play a little bit of that. By the way, fair use, but it was going back and forth. So he has no regrets about the post, but he apologized to people he hurt. So we'll go ahead and play that right quick.
Kanye West has apologized for the anti-Semitic comments he made on social media. The American hip-hop artist was banned from Twitter and Instagram for posting he would soon go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Speaking on Piers Morgan Uncensored, Kanye West defended his comments before moving to apologize.
I think you don't understand the pain that you've been causing with some of these comments. And I think that one in particular, I can understand.
Oh my God. God forbid one comment could cause people to feel any of the pain that my people have went through for years. I will say I'm sorry for the people that I hurt with the DEFCON, the confusion that I call. I feel like I cause hurt and confusion. And I'm sorry for the families of the people that had nothing to do with the trauma that I had been through.
That interview will premiere tonight on Piers Morgan Uncensored, 10:30 p.m.
Now, I was watching this shit, and I saw it because it was trending on my YouTube stream, my timeline, and I was watching some of it. And the interview is over. He did like an hour and 40-minute interview, but it got heated, and some other stuff was going on. They clashed about some stuff. And during one interview, at one point, Piers Morgan, when they asked about George Floyd, for instance, Kanye made some remarks, especially when we were talking about the Hennepin County coroner saying that, they had said George Floyd died as a result of a homicide, and Kanye West, of course, is trying to contradict that. Now, some interesting things I learned, especially with and during the interview. I mean, they were going back and forth with each other. He was calling him a Karen. He kept interrupting him, singing "la la la" every time Piers Morgan was interrupting him. It was ridiculous to say the least, but funny. So, by the way, fair use, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to play all of it because I don't want to get a copyright strike, but I'm trying to get the
Hey, thank you very much indeed for joining Piers Morgan Uncensored.
George Floyd thing.
With or whatever. You would think I was judging an entire populace by the color of their...
I didn't, but now I'm saying it now.
Okay, so now what I was thinking you should say...
And Chrissy Teigen talk, people get judged. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody that gets judged more than a straight white male. The straight white male has the least amount of a platform to even speak. A straight white male can't say, my wife hurt me today. And because people will say, well, you're hurting women. A straight white male can't say, hey, a black employee didn't come in to work on time, because then people will say you're racist. A straight white male can't speak on a homosexual person because they'll say you're homophobic. And so I empathize with the position of the straight white male. And part of the reason why I empathize with that position is because I know that I'm headed to that position. And what position that is? Top power position.
Negro, what? He has lost his mind. This is what we've been talking about. I've listened to Jason Black. This is the fallacy, especially among black celebrities. Kanye is exhibiting where you have all of this money. You obviously Kanye West. I believe they say he's a multi-billionaire, and that may be, but that's probably his net worth. That may not be what he has in his actual account, whatever. But I'm going to say it is he's a multi-billionaire. Let's put it that way. He is. So I stick with the record. He is a multi-billionaire. And yet, Mr. West, you're saying that, or Ye, as you like to be called now, you are saying you empathize with the position of the straight white male because you are headed into that position, which is a power position. Name me a black celebrity right now. Here's the problem with his thinking. What black celebrities that you can name, in all honesty, that are in a position of power? Define what power is. You see, Kanye, you lost your endorsement deals. They made Chase Bank. JP Morgan Chase has actually withdrawn its business relationship with you to the point that they're even closing your accounts. Something I have never heard of a bank closing a customer's account because of his opinions. I've never heard that. On top of that, you have Ari Emanuel, brother of Rahm Emanuel, who is one of the top, I believe, agents in Hollywood, who is calling for every major company you deal with, from Apple to Nike, to boycott you, keep you from doing anything. What power move are you talking about? What in God's name? I can't just blame this stuff on chemical imbalance. It's not that he's insane. This Negro, well, he may be insane, but this Negro, other than great music, what has Kanye West contributed to black society? What has he contributed? I had the greatest respect for Kanye West back in 2005 when he said George Bush doesn't care about black people, because I was one of those black people in New Orleans when Hurricane Katrina happened. Well, I should say when the levees broke, and how we were treated in these cities, like in Baton Rouge and Houston and Atlanta. I remember when they were talking about the people that came from New Orleans. They were talking about invasion of the Katrinians. I remember when Kip Holden, the mayor of Baton Rouge, actually got on national TV and made the remarks on local TV, on WBRZ and all of these other, and KFAB, which is an affiliate in Baton Rouge, a CBS affiliate, the Fox affiliate, all of these networks. And he actually got on there and said that he didn't want any, quote, thugs in his city. And I remember that stuff. And I saw brother Kanye West stood up, and I felt he was standing up for me when he said that right next to Michael Myers, and Michael Myers looking shocked. And then they flip into Chris Tucker, and Chris Tucker didn't know what to say, to the point where even George Bush had to respond. You've seen what they have done to brothers like Bill Cosby. You've seen what they've done to Michael Jackson. You've seen what they've done to Tupac Shakur, Sam Cooke. I could go to, let's stick in music. Sam Cooke, Tupac Shakur, James Brown, Otis Redding. And you think you can make a power move? And I'm not against making power moves. That's not the point. But you honestly think that they will let you in because you got a good beat? You can make some beats. A lot of producers can make 5 beats, Kanye. And guess what? Some of them don't look like you. But you're saying that, how he was going, and I don't like Pierce Morgan, because Pierce Morgan has done some racist stuff in the past. He said some suspect stuff. But here you look like a complete fool. Every time you open your mouth. And yeah, you got free speech. Everybody does. I'm not against freedom of speech. This is just about being foolish and lying. You siding with Candace Owens, who is known to have a hatred for black people. Her husband owning Parler. What's Parler going to be in a couple of years? See, I'm for, and believe me, I am not against I'm not against differences in opinion. I don't like the stuff that, and he was going at liberal media to attacking him during the interview. I agreed with all of that. Media should be fair and balanced. I'm 100% with it. But Kanye, where do you think you're saying I'm making a power move? How? What? You got to get it from somebody in order to obtain it. If you're being censored, you ain't making no power move. You're not getting canceled from a bank. I don't know a billionaire. As much as these racist, these racist Hollywood producers we've seen, they don't get, and politicians, they didn't get canceled. I don't remember hearing Chase Bank or American Bank or whoever, any of the top banks you could think of, Capital One, saying they're going to get rid of Jesse Helms' bank account because his statements on blacks, or Steve Scalise meeting with Klansmen. He's still doing endorsements now, running for president. Running for president. Oh God, no. Running for United States Senate. John Kennedy. If you need help from a police and you don't like the police, call. Next time you're in trouble, call a crackhead. Now he's not airing that ad anymore because he got backlash. But guess what? He wasn't going to get canceled. They weren't going to take it. They weren't going to pull funding from him. That's real power. Power does what it wants, like George Carlin said. When you talk about investigating yourselves, and then at one point he compared the George Floyd thing with the JFK thing. The difference between that. Why is it we can question all of these things, but not George Floyd? Well, we know the problem with the Kennedy. Well, here's my thing. In one breath, you're saying that nobody should be treating George Floyd like a hero. And maybe I'm talking about Candace Owens and all of these other people. And I agree that George Floyd is not a hero. And no, I don't think, when Nancy Pelosi said George Floyd died for us, I thought that was the biggest load of shit I ever heard. George Floyd was a victim of police brutality. Medgar Evers is a hero. Malcolm X is a hero. Dr. King is a hero. Fred Hampton is a hero. They died fighting for what they believe. They're heroes and they're martyrs. George Floyd is a victim. Emmett Till is a victim, though a child. And that's nothing negative against them. Rodney King was a victim. They're not heroes. So I'm in agreement with, like what Judge says, naming the bill and so forth. But here's the thing. While he may have, and even in the report, in the autopsy report, see, they don't like to deal with facts. And as far as comparing with JFK, the reason why more people are questioning, although the number has gone down, actually, believe it or not, because at one point, if you were talking about in the 80s and 90s, at least 75% of Americans believe there was a conspiracy to kill the president. Now, in today's age, and I've looked at it, it's gone down to 56%. And I don't know if it's because it's nobody, and I really think it's because nobody cares anymore. Although I think we should be concerned about who shot and murdered the president, because the reason we question it is because the forensics that they had at that time, remember, Lee Harvey Oswald was not tried. Lee Harvey Oswald did not get his day in court. That's why we question it. And the way he died was questionable.
Okay. That's the top power position where you get all the rocks thrown. And that's the thing. I have friends, right, that will actually that's the reason why I'm going to be a good leader someday, because I'm really empathetic. But I call Black people out on their stuff. I call white people out on their stuff, because we're all people. We're actually only one species. And in order to, whether it's my friends texting me like, bro, you got to get in the gym. You're looking chubby in the photo. It's like we have to hold each other accountable to what's actually happening. And it's so much is based on you did that tweet wrong. So what I will
Mel Gibson is still around. You're absolutely right, nerds. Mel Gibson, you know who got Mel Gibson back in Hollywood? It's one of these people. Whoopi Goldberg vouched for Mel Gibson. Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. gave a speech asking everyone to forgive Mel Gibson. He actually did this.
Actually, I asked Mel to present this award to me for a reason, because when I couldn't get sober, he told me not to give up hope, and he urged me to find my faith. Didn't have to be his or anyone else's as long as it was rooted in forgiveness. And I couldn't get hired, so he cast me in the lead of a movie that was actually developed for him, and he kept a roof over my head, and he kept food on the table. And most importantly, he said that if I accepted responsibility for my wrongdoings, and if I embraced that part of my soul that was ugly, hugging the cactus, he calls it, he said that if I hugged the cactus,
now Robert Downey Jr. is
I'd
Jewish.
become a man of some humility, and that my life would take on a new meaning. And I did, and it worked. All he asked in return was that someday I help the next guy in some small way. It's reasonable to assume that at the time he didn't imagine the next guy would be him. Or that someday was tonight. So anyway, on the special occasion, and in light of the recent holidays, including Columbus Day, I humbly ask that you join me, unless you are completely without sin, in which case you picked the wrong industry, in forgiving my friend his trespasses, offering him the same clean slate you have me, and allowing him to continue his great and ongoing contribution to our collective art without shame. He's hugged the cactus long enough.
Right, and let's not forget, Mel Gibson made actual racist. He didn't just talk about Jews. He's actually, and I remember this saying, he told this girl that she hoped she got raped by a pack of effing niggers. That's his words. Mel Gibson is back making movies, only for a couple of years. He took a break. He just took a long vacation. Look, it wasn't like he didn't need the money. You know, that movie, The Passion of the Christ itself, I believe, made $500 million for Mel Gibson, and he did it without the help of Hollywood. It was an independent film. Oh, it's Gavin, Robert. That wouldn't surprise me. You know, I know here's real power when you talk about music. You all have heard this story. Dame Dash, Jay Prince, Irv Gotti, and Suge Knight had a record label. They were not only a record label, they actually had music publishing, record label. They were going to own everything. And within, I don't think, a few months, all of those, their business was shut down by the feds. They were going to work together to create their own record label, their own record company, and regardless of what you think about them personally, I'm bringing up the point how they were setting up a distribution company, and the feds got involved. You can actually read this article. I got to move on to the next topic. Apocalypto was great. Yeah. I thought Passion of the Christ was probably the best movie he directed. Hacksaw Ridge was pretty good. I mean, and I can like these people as far as actors. I've heard, look, one of my heroes was Sylvester Stallone, and Sylvester Stallone, I remember, was caught. It looked like saying some racist shit. I looked like he called somebody nigga. He denied it when he was walking out in Hollywood. Yeah, their offices were raided. They had a distribution company. That would have been big. Music is the second largest export from the United States after drugs. They love black music. They just don't like black people. But you all hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, read that article. That's what you're up against, Kanye. I spend too much time on him. We don't want to spend that much, great deal. But let's talk about this next topic, ladies and gentlemen. This was sad news, but this was also a blessed life. The son of a former slave has passed on. This brother, his name is Daniel Smith, I believe. Okay. Daniel Smith, yes. He's 90 years old, passed away in hospice care. According to the article, Mr. Smith, Loretta Newman, who said that Smith had passed away, Loretta Newman is his wife, at a hospice center in Washington on Wednesday night. His two children, April and Rob, were by his side. Smith's rich life story included escaping the clutches of the KKK in the Deep South, marching on Washington with Dr. King, and attending the inauguration of President Barack Obama, the country's first black president. He also represented a last link to the nation's darkest chapter. His father, Abram, was born in 1863, Virginia, and was briefly the property of a white man, making Smith just one generation removed from slavery. I have the article right here. This is from CBS News. They did a very interesting story on Mr. Smith. I'm going to play a little bit of it. I don't own the rights to it, so I'm not going to play the entire video, but it's fair use, ladies and gentlemen.
Their children of freed slaves heard from their parents the story history has forgotten.
We are survivors.
Daniel Smith is one of the last living links to America's original sin.
Your grandparents were enslaved.
Right.
Your father was born the property of a white man.
Yep.
His father, Abram, was born into bondage in Virginia in the early 1860s. He was 70 when his youngest son, Daniel, was born.
He used to tell these stories.
Stories about the inhumanity their ancestors suffered and survived.
Father said you could hear him screaming and crying at the whipping post. But the interesting thing, my father never allowed you to talk negatively about America.
His father believed, like other freed slaves, in this new America, his young son would be great.
He grabbed me and shook me. He said, "You have nothing to cry about. This is America. We came from the strongest of the strong. We survived the ships."
The ship.
He gave me a signal to be strong and to survive.
And not just survive, but thrive and fight for true freedom.
John Lewis.
You have a lot of memories with him.
Right.
Smith's living room is a testament to his generation's struggle for equality. He was there for Martin Luther King Jr.'s March on Washington.
I want to remember he someday
little black boys and black girls
can walk hand in hand
with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today.
Well, I was saying yes and yes.
Smith followed that dream to Alabama, where he helped lead the fight for voting rights. He witnessed firsthand the terror. Smith remembers the Ku Klux Klan torching his office, and one night while driving, a car full of white men chased him down a dark road.
Then all of a sudden, boom, they hit me, and so I sped up as fast as my car would go. And then they come alongside me, pull over, you black. And I said, no, this black is not pulling over, because if they catch you, you're gone.
That must have been the most terrifying.
I wasn't scared. I was angry. but it stays with you up to 89, you know?
Like you can still feel that
Oh,
feeling.
yes, yeah, right.
Smith went on to a successful career in government and then served as head usher at the National Cathedral, where he led presidents to prayer. An incredible life, inspired by a generation history forgets.
We want to think that happened so long ago.
Author Sana Butler says the children of freed slaves like Smith heard similar messages from their parents.
Mothers and fathers said, we didn't survive for you to be anything other than great.
In her book, Sugar of the Crop, Butler spoke to more than a dozen children of slaves, all of whom now are gone. Instead of anger, they were taught, like Smith, they could do anything.
After the Civil War, Blacks truly believed the worst was over.
The worst was over.
The worst was over. So they had this immigrant mentality that we're going to go out and achieve everything that we can.
They didn't anticipate the barriers white America would erect. But their message, like the one from Smith's father, was you are the strongest of the strong.
People always say, it can't be done. You can't do this, you can't do that. I don't believe that. If you tell me that, I'm going to do it.
You hear people say today, but America has made so much progress.
It has. It really has. When I voted for Obama, I mean, it was shaking. I couldn't believe I was doing this. A black man? No, we've been.
I don't like disrespecting them there, but I can already tell, like so many of our elders, what they really feel about, when they start mentioning Obama and progress, I know where it's going.
A lot of progress.
Symbolism.
But he says not nearly enough.
We cannot continue as a nation with people hating each other. My father, he never hated anyone.
You never saw that from him.
Right. No, never saw it.
What would your message be for the future?
Be kind. We need more kindness. I look back in terms of my crazy life, and I think it all came from my father saying, do good things. Do good things.
Now, Daniel Smith turns 90 next month. He's planning to share his story in a book that he's writing with his wife, Loretta, called Son of a Slave. It's a reminder that that dark chapter in America's history is not that far in the past.
Well, rest in peace to Mr. Smith. I hate to see anybody pass on, but it's a white life well lived. He obviously had a great life. He lived at 90 years old. You have children. I believe he's survived by not only his wife and 2 children. I believe he has grandchildren as well, and great-grandchildren since that time period. This last interview he did, he served in the military as well, fighting Korea. So if his father was 70 when he had him, guys, you keep that in mind. Now, I'm all about black folks doing it. He's right about that. I agree with 100%. You got to go out and take it. Where I distance from him in his remarks, when he says the country has made progress, it has made some progress, but progress is not about one person. Progress is not about Barack Obama, and we already know about that. So when Barack Obama won, my grandfather, was obviously ecstatic because they never thought they would see anything like that. He never thought they would see someone that looked like them become president of the United States. But here's the thing. They don't know the ins and outs, especially as the elders. And most, I think, honest people don't know the ins and outs of politics and how things work. And black people in particular. Now we're starting to wake up, I think, a little bit more since that booty to your polls thing started. And I know a lot of people weren't happy about that. But sorry, I'm trying to fix this mic. Can y'all hear me good? But that go along to get along thing, that has never worked. No. That immigrant mentality, he mentioned that they had an immigrant mentality. And to a degree, yes, especially that generation, they felt America especially after a generation off from slavery, and those born into slavery thought that after the Civil War things would get better. But we know that didn't happen. We had the rise of the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, the White Citizens Council. You had the rise of Jim Crow in the South. That was put up to keep black people from accomplishing the things that whites were able to do, to buy property, buy land. It wasn't just about voting. The immigrant mentality he's talking about, the immigrants just don't, yeah, they may believe in America, but guess what? They take it and they build off the backs of blacks, like Dr. Claude Anderson talks about. They come over and they try to get unearned benefits. Black people have fought in every major war, every conflict, like this gentleman did, and still got disrespected. But we can learn something from this. I do like his self-determination. I agree with that. We have to be the ones that fix it, but that go along, get along thing ain't working no more. Can't do that. But rest in peace, Mr. Smith. My condolences to you and your family. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, guys. We're down to our last topic before we roll out of here. Last thing I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, is this video. Shout out to Torian Rain. He talked about this on his channel. I wanted to mention this. This woman who died in a restroom out, I believe this is in, this was in Washington, D.C. A woman by the name, I'm trying to get, woman collapsed of apparently a massive heart attack in a Largo restaurant known as Jasper's, and the restaurant stayed open even after she died. And we're gonna play that video right now to so you
caused her death.
Two videos actually. This is coming from
Welcome
Fox
back,
5 out in Washington D.C. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. This was just disgusting to say the least.
County restaurants apologizing tonight for not doing enough after a customer died in the bathroom.
So this happened on Wednesday night in Largo at Jasper's. Fox 5's Nana Yobosu has reaction from customers.
Management here at Jasper's tells me that they thought they were doing the right thing, but some customers are questioning why they kept their doors open during such a tragic event.
To hear something like that was very disheartening.
This woman is a usual here at Jasper's, so when she noticed that people were chatting on social media about what happened Wednesday night, she was stunned.
And it says, a woman died in Jasper's restaurant yesterday in the bathroom.
Prince George's County Police say it happened around 6:30. A call came in about a death investigation. A woman was unconscious in the bathroom. Management here says they immediately closed the restroom.
The men's room, we had an attendant there who made sure, obviously, would turn into unisex.
But people are asking why the restaurant didn't do more.
I thought they would have had to stay, they would have had to close until they found out what caused her death.
The best thing was for them to close immediately and at least secure that situation.
We're told the restaurant was full at the time and people were still being seated. In a message to customers on Jasper's website, they say, under authorities' guidance, we closed the area to patrons until emergency services could arrive and follow the direction of the authorities. Miguel Paella is one of the managers at Jasper's.
At that moment, we thought we were doing the right thing. This is something that, it takes a day to sink in, and then you realize maybe we were wrong.
We're told the paramedics arrived within 5 minutes and tried to resuscitate the woman. The owner, Fred Rosenthal, says the coroners arrived about 2 hours later, and the woman was taken out through the side door of the restaurant. Police say there was no foul play. Management says they aren't making excuses. This situation is new to them, but they are offering their sincerest apologies and condolences.
If they feel that we disrespect them in any way, that is not what we were trying to do.
To stay open, that's kind of irresponsible.
Now, management goes on to say that they feel horrible about what transpired here yesterday, and they're actually in the process of finding the woman's family so they can apologize again and also see how they can support them during this time.
A woman who passed away at a restaurant in Largo is getting a lot of attention. Nanasinyo Bones, who talked with the woman's husband about what happened inside Jasper's, a story that really caught fire online with people commenting. She's standing by live in Largo with what he had to say.
Jim, good evening. The name of the woman who passed away inside Jasper's on Wednesday night is Verna Wynn, a retired public schools teacher whose husband tells me he's lost his everything.
That was my soulmate, my life partner, my best friend, my lover.
His lover for over 4 decades and married for 38 years. The Odenton couple was out having a late lunch at Jasper's in Largo with family and friends.
Once we finished, we got our check, and everybody was ready to go. Then we decided we should all go to the restroom.
Craig Wynn noticed everyone had returned from the restroom except his wife, Verna.
So I asked her female cousin if she would go in and check on her.
Her cousin ran back out with devastating news.
I just immediately jumped up and ran into the restroom and saw my wife lying on the floor. And that was the last image of my wife, lying on this stall floor in the ladies' restroom.
Craig tells me someone in the restaurant tried to perform CPR until EMS arrived, but it was too late. Verna died from a heart attack. Wynn says because his wife was pronounced dead by medics, police informed him that a funeral home would have to come and pick her up. He tells me they waited for almost 3 hours in the restaurant that was still serving and seating guests. Fox 5 did speak with management at Jasper's the day after the incident, asking why they remained open during the situation.
At that moment, we thought we were doing the right thing. This is something that, it takes a day to sink in, and then you realize maybe we were wrong.
Wynn says the service consoled him while he waited on the funeral home,
But wishes management would have done more.
The only thing that would have made me feel better is if somebody, a management person who was working that night, would have come over and asked what they could do to make the situation better.
Wynn tells me he's seen the outpouring support from the community and has a message for them.
Don't indict the restaurant. I don't think that the restaurant could improvise on how to deal with a situation like that.
He just wishes he could have been there for his wife.
I just wanted to be able to give my wife the best chance that she could have had to have been revived so that we could be at home together right now.
Now, Craig tells me the owners here at Jasper's have reached out to him. They spoke today offering any kind of support that they can give him during this time. Again, Craig wants the community to take it easy on Jasper's. And right now he's just focusing and wants to say thank you to the waiters and servers who sat by his side during such a traumatic event.
No. See, this is my problem, especially when we get on this forgiveness thing. Now, I'm easygoing myself, and I can tolerate stuff. But, no, this restaurant, what they did was inhumane, Mr. Wynn. And I'm sorry, first off, for the loss of your wife, your children. I'm assuming you have children, the mother of your children. I'm deeply sorry about it. But the restaurant, they need to be shut down. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. And, I know those waiters and waitresses and those cooks were in there who had nothing to do with it. But this was about greed. Because here, when you have someone that dies in a restaurant, you don't know, number one, what the cause of death was, if there was something that she ate that was being served to other people, that could have been problematic. They didn't know if she had had the heart attack until they looked and did a coroner's report on her and found out what was the actual cause of death. So nobody knew what her cause of death was, and it could have been a pandemic issue that you possibly could have had with everybody in there. The other thing, too, that I have with it, I don't believe that the managers and staff did the right thing because they obviously knew, they did the money thing, because they obviously knew if they closed that business down and a restaurant, and you heard the news report, the restaurant was full, they were going to have to refund all of the money that those people were paying all the food that they had already eaten or what had started to eat. They were going to have to basically let everything go. They were going to have to charge it to the game. Everything was going on in the house. So they chose not to do it so that they could make money. And then here's the problem. I don't know how big the bathrooms were, but you're making it unisex, which was obviously going to be a problem. Because if you're talking about one person in the bathroom or two people in the bathroom at one time, and then you have to do it by gender, although I know that's DC now and they're removing the gender stuff, that was also an issue. I'm glad that this Jasper's, I don't know, this Jasper's location, they reached out to the family. They got to do more than that. They should give the family, if they're going to stay open, the family should be able to go and eat there for the rest of their life. They should get the Beyonce treatment. Like Beyonce, she gets the Popeyes. She gets to eat Popeyes for the rest of her life without having to pay for it. They should do this. Or better yet, they need to, they need to be shut down, in my humble opinion. I know that the father is saying, the guy is saying, please don't do anything to them. Take it easy on the business. No, absolutely not. I'm looking right here. They don't need to, don't take anything light on them. I'm going to call and let them know. I'm disgusted by this. If they got an email form, I'd like to find it. This is disgusting. I'm trying to see what the newest comments were. One person wrote a 1-star review. The management responded, this is disgusting. I'm trying to see if anybody, is this the right Jasper's? I don't know which one it is. This is called Jasper's Largo, soulofamerica.com. So this is a black restaurant. That looks like it. Oh no, but this is crazy. Now it looks like they got multiple locations as I'm looking here. Oh, so there's only one location. There's only one location. But this was a possible, I would like to talk to this manager, because you had a possible pandemic and outbreak that could have happened. And I'm disgusted that they would choose to remain open. This is like the park when this is like being at an amusement park and someone dies in a roller coaster ride and the park decides that they're still going to stay open. That kid who died in that ride out in Florida that I showed you that fell from that tower, they closed that ride permanently closed. They're not reopening it. And to do this was just inhumane. You chose money over another human being's life. I'm disgusted. And you're a black-owned restaurant. I'm going to fax a nice letter. I'm going to send a nice letter. This was pitiful. This was pitiful. Shame on you. The nerve of you. It could have been food poisoning. Yes. And the father is like, I want you to take it easy on him. No. No, don't take it easy on them. They need to learn. That's the only thing stuff change. When you take it, put your foot on them. That's when they're going to understand. When you hit them in their pockets. Stop supporting people that disrespect you. This was an insult. You're partying on while there's a dead body in the bathroom? Who knows how she could have died? I need you all to please donate to the Cash App, PayPal, and Zelle, Google Pay. This channel is not monetized. Now, the last thing I want to talk about this, I'm going to be brief with this, but I am in the process of creating my own website and taking my videos off and putting it there because I have had it basically with YouTube's bullshit. Earlier this morning, this afternoon, I should say, while I was out, I went and saw that one of my videos had been blocked, had been removed. And of course, they don't tell you why the video was taken down. They didn't give me a reason, but a video that I had done a while back has officially been removed by YouTube. And they believe that it violated medical giving out medical advice without a light, whatever it was, and wasn't even true. I don't even know what it was, but I have, and I'm going to share with you all. You can see here because I'm not making this stuff up. I got channel violations on my chat right now. As of you see right here, when I've talked about this, I appealed this back on December 2nd, 2020. The warning was issued for on November 30th. This is when I played the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's Savior's Day speech, The Criterion, and my appeal was rejected. And you can see here, I had a video called "You Are Now in the Twilight Zone" that was taken down. They have not told me, and I don't even know. See, I don't even remember how long ago this video even was. And I guess even if I played this here, this is from, I'm not even going to play it because then they'll say I did something. But I'm the only one that can see it. So they thought I violated, YouTube's policies, guidelines, whatever the hell it is. I don't know what it is that they said I did, and I'm not going to play it because then they'll reject it. They'll mess up this live stream again. But let it be known, I'm going to be off YouTube very soon. My videos are still in my archives. Yes. On StreamYard. Yes. I still have them. They're saved. I have dozens of videos, hundreds of videos that I'm saving, and I may upload it to my website when it comes up. I'll probably have one running up by the start of the new year. That's the algorithm. YouTube has their algorithm, and they're going in taking down people's old videos. So I would probably have to set practically every video that I've had to private in order to keep them. But this is getting to be ridiculous. I've really had enough, and I'm not gonna say too much, but change is coming. And I'm not taking this line down. I'm not gonna let it slide. I'm not gonna let it just be is what it is. That's not what I'm doing anymore. Y'all not gonna keep running over me. I've had enough. I've had enough, and something legal is coming soon. I'll just say that much. Y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, I'm out. If you could support me through PayPal or Cash App, I'd greatly appreciate it since the channel's not monetized. Please also go pick up some, if you want, just in time for the holiday season. Go to NarnisCreoleBlends.com, order you some Creole seasoning, try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Narnis goes great with every dish. Buy our songs, videos sold, and got to get on up on iTunes, ladies and gentlemen, in the Apple Store. Also support The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby, which is available on Kindle. Please purchase that book right now, ladies and gentlemen. No, they don't do that with me. Lucky you. All right. Well, I'm out of here, guys. Let's go ahead and get. I'm just frustrated, but let's go ahead and get on up. We're out. Okay. Peace out. Love you. I'll be back Tuesday.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you're breathing, you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor.
Get on up, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.